Hello, it's Expensive View here. This is gonna blow your mind. A matter of life and wallet. The high cost of staying healthy. Drugs. We need them. They can mean the difference between life and death, between managing a chronic condition and enduring debilitating symptoms, but here's the kicker, they're expensive, really expensive, like take out a second mortgage expensive. We're talking about folks rationing their insulin, skipping doses just to make ends meet. We're talking about families draining their savings because a life-saving treatment costs more than a house. This isn't just about dollars and cents, folks. It's about basic human dignity. Now you might be thinking, sure, developing new drugs must cost a fortune, and you'd be right. But the reasons behind these sky-high prices are more complicated than just research and development. It's a tangled web of patents, middlemen, and a whole lot of confusing jargon. So buckle up, because we're going on a wild ride through the world of pharmaceutical pricing. We'll expose the tricks, the loopholes, and the downright absurd justifications for why something as essential as medicine can cost an arm and a leg, and sometimes even your house. But why is staying healthy so expensive? Let's find out. The long and winding road, from lab to pill bottle. Developing a new drug isn't like whipping up a batch of cookies. It's a long, risky, and ridiculously expensive process. We're talking years of research, countless lab tests, and a whole lot of trial and error. First, scientists have to identify a target, a specific molecule or process in the body that's gone rogue and causing the disease. Then, they need to find a compound that can interact with that target and hopefully stop the disease in its tracks. Once they have a promising candidate, it's time for animal testing, followed by multiple phases of clinical trials involving human volunteers. Each phase is designed to assess the drug's safety, efficacy, and ideal dosage. And if at any point the drug shows nasty side effects or simply doesn't work, it's back to the drawing board. This whole process, from initial discovery to FDA approval, can take over a decade and cost pharmaceutical companies billions of dollars. So why does it take so long and cost so much? Because every step is crucial to ensure the drug is safe and effective for human use. Monopoly money, patents, and the price of innovation. So, how do drug companies recoup these massive R&D costs? Enter patents. A patent gives a company exclusive rights to sell a new drug for a set period, usually 20 years. During this time, no one else can make or sell a generic version, even if it's chemically identical. On the surface, patents seem like a fair deal. They incentivize innovation by rewarding companies for their investment. But here's the catch. Those exclusive rights allow drug companies to set their own prices, often with little regard for actual production costs. Remember that life-saving drug we talked about earlier, the one that costs more than a house? Yeah, well, there's a good chance it's still under patent, which means the company has a monopoly and can charge whatever they want. And you know what? They do. They jack up the prices year after year because they know people need their drugs and will pay anything to stay healthy. It's a system that prioritizes profits over patients, and it's got to stop. So why do patents lead to such high drug prices? Because they create monopolies, allowing companies to set exorbitant prices without competition. Section 4. Middlemen and markups. Navigating the pharmaceutical labyrinth. Hold on to your hats, folks, because the pharmaceutical supply chain is about to get even more convoluted. Between the drug manufacturer and your local pharmacy lies a labyrinth of middlemen, wholesalers, distributors, pharmacy benefit managers, and more. Each of these players takes their cut, adding their own markups and fees to the final price you pay at the counter. It's like a game of hot potato, but instead of a potato, it's your hard-earned money, and it's getting more expensive with every handoff. And then there are the PBMs. These shadowy entities are supposed to negotiate lower drug prices on behalf of insurers and employers. But in reality, they often play both sides, extracting rebates from drug manufacturers while simultaneously charging insurers and patients higher prices. It's a rigged system that benefits everyone but the people who actually need the drugs. And let's not even get started on the opaque pricing practices and lack of transparency that plague this entire industry. So how do we navigate this pharmaceutical labyrinth? Unfortunately, the answer isn't simple. The system is designed to be complex, making it difficult for consumers to find clear information and fair prices. Section 5. A Tale of Two Pills, Comparing Drug Prices Across Borders. Here's a fun fact. The United States pays more for prescription drugs than any other developed country. And we're not talking about a small difference here. We're talking 2, 3, sometimes even 10 times the price for the exact same medication. Take insulin, for example. In Canada, a vial of insulin costs around $12. In the US, hold on to your hats again because it can cost over $300. That's right, folks. The same life-saving medication costs 25 times more in the land of the free. And it's not just insulin. This price disparity exists for countless other medications, from cancer drugs to EpiPens to HIV treatments. It's enough to make you want to pack your bags and move to Europe, where they seem to have figured out this whole affordable healthcare thing. So why are drug prices so different across borders? The answer lies in the complex world of pharmaceutical pricing and regulation. Section 6. Seeking a cure for high prices, potential solutions. The good news is, there are solutions out there. We don't have to accept this broken system as the status quo. We can fight back against these exorbitant drug prices and demand affordable healthcare for all. One solution is to allow Medicare to negotiate drug prices directly with pharmaceutical companies. Right now, Medicare, the largest purchaser of prescription drugs in the US, is prohibited from using its bargaining power to secure lower prices. It's like sending a toddler to negotiate with a used car salesman. It's just not fair. Another solution is to increase transparency in drug pricing. Let's shine a light on those hidden markups and rebates, and force pharmaceutical companies to justify their exorbitant prices. Sunlight, as they say, is the best disinfectant. We can also explore alternative drug pricing models, such as value-based pricing, where the cost of a drug is tied to its effectiveness. And let's not forget about the power of generics. We need to make it easier and faster for generic drugs to enter the market, breaking the stranglehold of patent monopolies. So, what are some potential solutions to these high drug prices? Let's dive in. One solution is to allow Medicare to negotiate drug prices directly with pharmaceutical companies. Gap 3S, Section 7, Voices for Change. While potential solutions are critical, the power to drive change lies in our collective voices. Across the globe, individuals and organizations are rallying together, pushing back against the status quo and advocating for affordable healthcare. Take, for instance, grassroots movements and advocacy groups that are amplifying patient stories and shining a spotlight on the human cost of high drug prices. These stories are powerful. They put a face to the crisis and compel action. Moreover, social media campaigns and online petitions have become potent tools in the fight for change. They allow people from all walks of life to unite and demand accountability from pharmaceutical companies and policymakers. Then, there are the whistleblowers and investigative journalists who risk their careers to expose unethical practices within the pharmaceutical industry. Their courage brings transparency and catalyzes reform. Let's not forget the role of healthcare professionals who advocate tirelessly for their patients. Doctors, nurses, and pharmacists are often the first to witness the devastating impact of unaffordable medications, and their voices carry weight in the corridors of power. So, how can you contribute to this movement? By staying informed, sharing your story, and supporting organizations and policies that prioritize affordable healthcare. Every voice matters, and together, we can create a system that values people over profits. Gap 3S. Goodbye, and thank you for watching Expensive View. Stay tuned for more insightful content. Section 7. The Price We Pay. A call for affordable healthcare. The high cost of prescription drugs is not just a financial burden, it's a moral crisis. It's about people having to choose between their health and their financial well-being. It's about families going bankrupt because they can't afford the medications they need to survive. We need to demand better. We need to hold our elected officials accountable and push for policies that prioritize patients over profits. We need to fight for a healthcare system that treats access to life-saving medications as a right, not a privilege. The fight for affordable healthcare won't be easy. The pharmaceutical industry is powerful, and they'll stop at nothing to protect their profits. But we can't afford to be silent. We need to raise our voices, share our stories, and demand change, because everyone deserves access to affordable, life-saving medications. It's time to put people over profits once and for all. But how can we achieve affordable healthcare for all? By raising our voices, sharing our stories, and demanding change.